Lads, lads, what's up now? We're gonna be talking about the ancient paradox mons from Pokemon Scarlet. They're gonna be releasing Friday from the time that you guys see this, which should be tomorrow. I think so. But yeah, let's jump straight into it. So we have the boys. We have the Great Tusk, which is going to be our Donphan variant. We have Fluttermane, which is going to be our Misdreavus variant. We have Screamtail, which is going to be our Jigglypuff variant. And we have Sandy Shocks, which is our Magneton variant. So the very, very first thing I would want to address is going into these games, will these variants have variantial evos as well? What I mean by that is Jigglypuff going to have a Wigglytuff variant? Perhaps, maybe. Is Magneton going to have a Magnezone variant? Perhaps. Is Fluttermane, is Misdreavus going to have a Mismagius variant? Perhaps. We just don't really know going into this. From the leaks that have dropped, I'm sure if this were the case, then yeah, we'd probably see it by now. The biggest argument I could make against this would probably be that Mismagius is in the past. Maybe it didn't have an evolutionary line at that point, because we've seen as the generations have gone by, Pokemon have picked up evolutions along the way. We've seen that way back, especially for even as recently as Pokemon Legends Arceus. We're seeing these mons that have evolved over time in the Sinnoh region, or mons that were previously in the Sinnoh region, or what was it called back then, the Hisuian region. That when it did become Sinnoh, those mons either went extinct or they migrated to another place, and some of them even evolved into different things. Growlithe, Arcanine. But yeah, we're gonna keep talking about the Great Tusk for one. I love this design. Everything about it to me just shouts like a radical fucking Donphan. I'm not quite sure what they were thinking with the fighting type. I think they could have got away with ground fire on this one, because I don't know, his little thing, he looks like a hot rod, you know what I'm saying? He looks like he's got some fire on him. So I'm not a huge fan of the fighting type. Not a huge fan. I would have much preferred ground fire, but what we got is ground fighting, and it's alright. Nothing to write home about. Dope design, love the tusk. I'm hoping that he's not one of those he's not one of those animals that tusk gets so long that they can actually just impale his head and kill him. Pray for him. We have Fluttermane here, our Misdreavus. Ghost and Fairy. I don't know why, but I really like this typing. I really like this typing. There's something about it that just kind of resonates with me. And like I said, if these guys don't have evolutions into their next forms and stuff like that with better stats, I'd 100% be fine with them just staying like this. My only issue is I'm a little bit worried for people that pick up Scarlet and Violet. I just don't think if Fluttermane and Screamtail, if they don't evolve, I just don't think they're going to be like capable mons to carry around with you on your journey. I just don't think that their stats would be high enough. So I don't know what they're going to do to counteract that. I don't know if they're going to have increased stats. What if we get a Misdreavus lookalike? We have Fluttermane but with Mismagius type of stats, or even like something a little bit of a downgrade but still kind of close. I'm not quite sure. Hopefully they do something to help that out, because Violet, their lineup is just looking so much more dangerous than the Scarlets. We're gonna talk about Sandy Shocks. Sandy Shocks. I just don't know where they got the ground type from. I don't. Yeah, he's supposed to be on the beach. You know what I'm saying? That's why he has a Magnus and he's collecting the what is it called? The still sand. I forgot what the hell it's called. He's collecting that type of shit, and I just don't like that they took away his steel typing to give him ground. I just don't. Maybe they could have made him ground steel and it would make more sense, and then just like completely nullify the electricity part. I don't know. I don't like his typing. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like logically I understand it, but in my heart I can't look at that thing and just be like, yeah, that's something that Pokemon's dropping in like tomorrow. But yeah, let's just move on. I just don't like many of these mons, and the typings are just. Let's not take credit away from Scarlet. Violet's typings also I really didn't like. So this is nothing new. This looks like they're not dropping great typings, great dual typings for really anything moving into this. But yeah, I actually kind of skipped over Screamtail's typing. Fairy and Psychic, love it, decent type. I just, like I said, I hope that Old Buddy has the stats to back it up, because it definitely has the typing too. Move to the next three. We have Root Bonnet, our Amoonguss. We have Slitherwing, our Volcarona again. This is like a little Volcarona. I'm liking. Okay, they're doing something. And then Roaring Moon, Dragon, and Dark. Whew. What can I say about Roaring Moon? For one, I don't know if this was like a Mega Salamence, like beta. And they were like, yo, we have artwork. We could still use it. Like, I don't really want to pay another artist to make a whole new variant. Let's just reuse some of the beta artwork from Mega Salamence. And then boom, we got this. If that happened, I wouldn't be too surprised. We definitely see rough drafts coming back. I believe the most recent one was the bug that the Pokemon that Ayano, the new VTuber gym leader, uses. The one that looks like it has eyes on the side of its head. That mon actually looks very, very familiar to a mon that we saw back in, I believe it was the original copy of Pokemon Red or Blue, like in the beta codes or in the code for like some of the beta mons. It looks very, very familiar. And then of course we have the description of Munna back in one of the Game Boy games before Munna was even like an afterthought at that. A pink mon with floral patterns and stuff like that. So I don't know if something like that happened to Roaring Moon or Salamence here. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It just looks like a Mega Salamence to me. And like I said, I hope that they increase some of these stats so they do something with the stat distribution. Because otherwise, it's just going to look like, in my opinion, a worse Salamence. I really just don't like this typing for a sweeper. I mean, we see it with Hydreigon. A lot of times you just get hit by a bug move and you're fucked. You get hit by a fighter move, you're just fucked. Like, it's a lot of these mons, or a lot of these mons have, or a lot of the typings for these mons have like very, very strong stab moves, and they just kind of run you because you're squishy and you're a sweeper and you really can't do much other than just sit back and die. But yeah, that's Roaring Moon. I don't know. Doesn't look new. He doesn't look new. He looks like a beta. He looks like a shell of the Mega Salamence he used to be. We have Slitherwing. I actually seen this Pokemon in game. It looks dope. I don't know what about it. He looks cooler when he stands up. When he's crawling, it kind of looks a little bit iffy. But I just like this. It looks like a small man's Volcarona, and I like it. I know he's gonna have Volcarona stats for sure. It's a bug fighting type, so he got hands, and yeah. I mean, it's not really too much to me for me to talk about. His typing is kind of because, you know, he does get bodied by flying types very, very heavily. But other than that, I like him. The design's cool. I wish I could have got a picture for you guys of him standing up, but sadly it wasn't in the PNG files that I was looking for when I was making this video. So yeah, this is what y'all guys get. And yeah, moving on to Amoonguss is Blue Bonnet. Let's go ahead and talk about his typing again, because we have yet another quad weakness. I know Slitherwing has a quad weakness. I pointed out it's flying, yes, but for a tank, having a quad weakness is just unacceptable. It makes you look like a fucking bitch. That is what Amoonguss is. He is a bug type encounter away from just absolutely falling over like a fucking like a fucking roach to raid, bro. He's literally going to get stepped on. He's going to get absolutely just spooked by these bugs. With Slitherwing, it's more so of an okay, because with Slitherwing, we already kind of know how Volcarona stat distribution is. He's probably going to be more so of a sweeper than anything, maybe even a setupper, so you can kind of hide him from that flying type. But Brute Bonnet, like, this is a mon that's like, am I wrong about this? Doesn't it get Rage Powder? Like, aren't you wanting to get hit? And you have a quad weakness? That is just not good. That is just absolutely no bueno. You just don't want to have that on your tank. You do not want to have a quad weakness on your tank. I think the only time that having a quad weakness is even fine is if, like, that's your only weakness. Like, you're like a tank, but you're water and ground like a Cindy. Like a Cindy, like a Swampert. Or a Gastrodon, which is Cindy. I always call my Swampert, my Gastrodon Cindy. But like, that is fine because you have one weakness. Nothing else hurts you. Nothing else is 2 times, nothing else is 4 times. You have one weakness, grass type. And then especially with like tanks and stuff like that have these quad weaknesses going into this next new meta of terrestrializing, you're going to get absolutely bodied by any sort of motherfucker who has some crystallized balloons on his back. You are going to get absolutely bodied by, I'm not sure what the bug type one is for terrestrializing, but it is going to absolutely destroy this tank. It is going to rip through them, like I said, raid on a roach. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all to say about Brute Bonnet. Its typing sucks. What it's supposed to be doing, it should not have this typing for. It should just not have this typing for. It is completely unacceptable. I'm gonna go back on to Roaring Moon. Oh, I gotta get back on his ass. I just do not. Like I said, it looks too much like Mega Salamence. Like I don't know if this is a beta Mega Salamence and we're just getting the after fucking thoughts. We're getting all the shitty fucking throwaway drawings and stuff like that they still have sitting in their fucking warehouse somewhere, and they're like, yes, perfect. This is the design that we're choosing. It just looks lazy. It looks lazy. It looks like somebody didn't really give a fuck. You know, this is coming from the people that said that they couldn't make Flygon cool enough, so they didn't give it a mega. It's just lazy. It's absolutely lazy. And then it having this typing, like I said, is not. It's just not great for a sweeper. Like unless they're going to completely change the stat distributions of these mons, it's just sad. It really just is. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for the Scarlet and Violet Ancient Paradox mons. I'm just not a fan. I apologize if I ruined any of this Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We call it picking the pick'ems for you guys. You know, what am I gonna pick? What is the best one to pick? It's looking like, I'm gonna go ahead and say this like straight up. It's looking like if you want the best game with the best mons, the best, I guess you could say the best experience, you're probably just gonna want to pick up Violet. To keep it 100, you're probably just gonna want to pick Violet. I don't know what they were thinking with these ancient mons. I don't think there's none of these mons, like, put back up these other guys, none of them are cool. And like I said, if they don't redistribute the stats, or if they don't give them higher stats, a lot of these mons just have shit fucking stats. Like Magneton, Sandy Shocks can skirt away with having its old stats, because it was a Magneton for a long time. It wasn't a Magnezone until Gen 4, so they can kind of skirt by. But like having a Jigglypuff stats on a Fairy and Psychic type is just unacceptable. You're gonna get blown the fuck away. You're going to get Iron Head and you're going to get exposed. You're going to get Terrestrialized Steel and you're going to get exposed. Same thing with Flutterman. You're going to get exposed with Mistreated stats. That's why we have Mismagius. That's why we have Wigglytuff. Whew. It's a lot to say. But yeah, it's just the lineup for Scarlet is just not looking great this year. Not looking great. I'll see you guys when we do our first playthrough of Pokemon Violet tomorrow. So yeah, y'all have a good one.